Hello, everyone. My name is Stacy with Willcuts Homes, and I want to welcome you all for joining us today at joining the Women's Financial Kickstart. There's going to be a lot of information today, but I do recommend taking notes. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments. There'll be a time at the end where we will have a Q&A. My hope for you today is that you can apply at least one piece of advice that will positively impact your finances. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Melinda Satterlee. She's a business owner of Marathon Wealth Management and financial advisor. Welcome, Melinda.
Thank you, Stacy. I'm excited to be here to share some tips on building some wealth in 2022. And as Stacy said, I'm owner of Marathon Wealth Management. And I started my company because I wanted to give a place for women to talk about money, where they felt safe and secure to ask questions about how do they invest, how do they manage money. So I'm excited to talk to you today about investing. So what we're going to talk about today are 5 ways to take charge of your finances, the market, what are they, investing, why, how, when, where, and I want to leave you with 5 mindsets for your investing. And then as Stacey mentioned, if you think of any questions during the presentation, write them down and we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So when I look at the Facebook group of businesswomen today, what I see are business owners, professional women. A lot of us are moms or wives. We might be doing some carpooling. I mean, we're busy women. But who are we when it comes to money? I actually categorize it into 2 different categories. You're either 1, financially aware, or 2, what I call a Beverly Hills housewife. And I came up with that name because one day I caught an episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And one of the wives on that episode was going through divorce. And she had no idea that her husband had been embezzling money, buying properties behind her back, and at the same time, she was spending money on her credit card. She had no idea what was going on, and she ended up broke. So you're either what I call financially aware, you know what's going on with your family finances, or you're ignoring your family finances, or maybe you fall somewhere in between. So before we can begin investing, we need to take charge of our finances. So I want to give you 5 ways to do that. Number 1, begin by creating a net worth statement. It's important to understand where you stand now monetarily. And the best way to do that is to take a piece of paper and on one side, list your assets. And by assets, I mean if you own a home, write down the value of your home. If you own a car, write down the value of your car. You may own some jewelry, that is an asset, and maybe your bank account. And then on the other side of the paper, you're going to write down your liabilities, the things you owe. For instance, if you own a home, do you have a mortgage? Write that number down. If you have a car, do you have a car payment? And student loans, credit cards, those are your liabilities. And then you're going to take the assets minus the liabilities, and that number is your net worth. Now, you may have a negative net worth, but don't worry about it. You just need to know where you stand now so you can make good decisions tomorrow. And then number 2, review your cash flow every month. Look at your bills. What is coming in? What is going out? And there's some really great financial apps that you can use like minted.com that can give you an idea of where your money is being spent. And did you know by the time you're 18, you should actually have a will? In fact, if you have any assets, you should have written down somewhere where those assets go when you die. Or you should have what I call a durable power of attorney for your health care. My kids are all over 18 now, and I had them sign one of these because if they end up in the hospital and can't speak for themselves, I can't speak for them unless they have signed this durable power of attorney. So there's some important estate documents that you should have in place. And number 4, create a list of your financial goals, your dreams. Because, we can get so busy day to day, just living day to day, month to month. We forget about wait, we have some dreams. We want to go on a vacation. We want to send our kids to college. We want to buy a home. When you write those down, it creates a savings mindset. And then last, review your investment accounts every year. Some of you may have an IRA or you have a retirement account at work. You should look at how it's doing every year. But a lot of us haven't started investing yet. And why not? Why aren't we investing? I think as women, we like security. And so sometimes when we think about investing, it brings up fear. We see the headlines in the papers that the markets are falling and COVID's closed businesses and people are losing money. Or maybe we're just confused and we don't even know where to start. Or like I said, we're really busy women and we don't have time to learn. So I really am proud of you all for being here and learning, taking the time to learn about how to invest. So let's start. What we're going to start with is, what are the markets? When you invest, there are different investment markets that you can put your money in. The first one is the stock market. When you buy a stock, you're essentially becoming an owner of a company. Let's say you want to buy some Starbucks. When you buy a share of Starbucks, you're now an owner, and you're going to share in Starbucks profits, either in the form of a dividend or the price of that stock going up or down. The next market you can invest your money in is the bond market. And when you buy a bond, you're essentially making a loan, either to the government or to the company, and then they're going to pay you interest for borrowing your money. The third market you can invest your money in is real estate. And so you could buy a home, or you could buy another piece of real estate that you rent out, and then you receive rent every month. And you would go to someone like Willcuts Homes to buy real estate. And then there's the commodities market. Let's say you want to buy some gold. Someone told you it's good to have some gold. You would go to a commodities broker and you literally get pieces of gold. And then now there's the cryptocurrency market, where you would buy digital currency over the internet. So when you start thinking about investing, these are the markets that you would invest your money in. And the best way to do it is to invest your money a little bit in almost every one of these markets. It's called diversification. And if you do that, you have less up and down in your money. If you put all your money just in the stock market, you're going to have a very volatile time with your investments. But if you spread it out into all these different kinds of markets, you should have less volatility. So why should we invest? I mean, I just talked about volatility. That sounds really scary. Why do I want to put my money in something that might go up and might go down? Well, there's this magical concept called compounding, where you can make your money work for you 24/7. If you think about it, we personally can only work 12 to 14 hours a day. But when you start investing, your money's working for you while you sleep. And one of the reasons why is because of this idea of compounding. When you put your money in the market, you have the opportunity to grow your money at a faster rate than if you were putting it at the bank. And let me show you what I mean. When you invest $1 in the market and you get a return, you get a percentage. And let's say you earn 10%. Now you have $1.10. Now that money is sitting in the market and that's earning money. So basically you're earning percentages. You're not earning a fixed dollar amount. You're not earning a $1, then $2, then $3. You're earning on a percentage basis, which grows your money much faster than $1, $2, $3. As you can see, your $2 becomes $4, becomes $8. So compounding can work in your favor. Of course, it can work opposite too. You can lose money. So it's really important when you begin investing that you give your money time to be in the market, to take advantage of this compounding effect. So where should we invest? Now we're convinced we want to invest. We want our money working for us 24/7. Well, it depends on your desire or your goal. There are special types of accounts you can open. If you want to buy a home, if you want to go to college or send your child to college, or if you want to retire or do something different, you're going to open a different kind of account for each one of those goals. For a home, you would open a bank savings account and just start saving your money. For college, there's a 529 account, which is a special account that gives you tax savings for your money. It's a great way to save for college. For your retirement, you would open an IRA, or if you're a business owner, a solo 401k. And I think perhaps many of you probably already have an IRA open. So now you know what kind of account to open, but where do I put my money in that account? That again depends on your goal and how long you have until you want to reach that goal. You want to buy a home, you're in your 20s and you want to buy a home in the next 1 to 5 years. You would put your money in cash, certificates of deposits, or treasury bills. Safe investment, because you don't have a lot of time to grow your money. You need that money in the next 5 years. But let's say college education, you just had a baby and you have 18 years until they go to college, or you have a 7-year-old. They have many years before they go to college. You can actually invest your money in stocks and bonds and cash, because your money will have time to use that compounding effect to grow your money. Same with retirement. Many of us have 10, 20, 30, probably some of you have 40 years before you're going to retire. You can invest your money in stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, because you have time. So the whole point about investing is how much time do you have? And that will dictate where you put your money. So speaking of time, when should we invest? Many of you might have heard of the adage, buy low, sell high. Well, that's trying to time the market. And I recommend dollar cost averaging, and let me show you why. When you start investing in the market, and if you try to time the market, this is what could happen. Let's say you have $600 and you want to invest it over the next 6 months. So in January, you have $100 and you buy a stock that's worth $50. So you get 2 shares. Well, February comes and you're just still watching the market. In March, April, you're watching the stock price. June comes around, you're like, oh, it's only $25. I'll invest the rest of my $500. And you get 20 shares. So by the end of your 6 months, you have 22 shares. Well, if you were to dollar cost average, meaning every month you took $100 and put it in the market, you didn't care what the price of the stock was, let's see what you end up with. You actually end up with 30 shares, because you took advantage of the price of that stock going up, going down. And when you have more shares, your investments are worth more. So dollar cost averaging is a great way to discipline yourself to invest in the market. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with 5 mindsets to help you start investing. Number 1, start small. You can open an account at Charles Schwab for just $1. And then think long term. Investing takes time. You need to keep your money and your earnings in your investment so that it can compound and grow. You will have some ups and downs along the way, but if you give yourself enough time, your money should grow. Don't try to time the market. Become disciplined. Think about how much you can invest every single month and do it. And then keep your financial desires top of mind. And I say this because let's say you put $100 in the market today and 6 months later you look at your account and it's $50 and you panic. Well, if you remember why you're investing, oh yeah, I don't need that money for 20 years, then that'll help you not do the wrong thing. Like I personally did that. In 2000 and 2007 and 2008, the stock market was going down. And I looked at my account and I panicked. I did not like the number I saw. And I did the wrong thing. Had I had someone next to me telling me, Melinda, you don't need that money for another 30 years, don't touch it, I wouldn't have touched it and I wouldn't have made that mistake. So when you're investing or starting to invest, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's exactly what I love to do. I love to help people figure out what they should invest in, when they should invest, and remind them why they're investing. So don't be afraid to reach out for help. Well, I appreciate your time. We went through this pretty fast, so if you have any questions, I don't know, Stacy, if you saw any come up, but this is the time I would love to take to answer them.
Yeah, no, no questions came in, but I have a quick question that I think would be important for people to know is how soon is too soon to invest?
Oh, well, it's never too soon to invest. So you do want to get started as soon as you can, whether it's $10, $20, to let time grow your money. Time is either your friend or your enemy. Don't wait. Do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if you could speak to anyone and give one piece of solid financial advice, what would you what would you recommend for people to gather?
Well, understand, first of all, your situation. How much money are you earning? How much are you spending? And then take that information and decide how much you can invest, because you really need to pay your bills before you start putting your money in the market. And then figure out, once you know your situation as far as what's coming in and going out, figure out what your goal is. What do I want? You know, do I want to send my child to college? Do I want to retire at 50? And then from that goal, you can decide what you should do with your money. And so I think it's a matter of planning before you just jump in. You need to really think about, what is it? Why am I wanting to invest? What is it that I want? And then from there, you can decide which of those markets that we talked about would be the most appropriate market to put your money in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So plan first before you jump in. Don't listen to someone's stock tip of the day and do it. Know why you're doing what you're doing.
Excellent. Well, now if someone wants to contact you or get a hold of you, Melinda, how would they do that?
Okay. Well, my contact information is right here. You can email me at melinda@marathonwealthmanagement.com, my website, marathonwealthmanagement.com, or feel free to call me or text me. I love to meet with people at least for a half hour. Doesn't cost anything. We just talk about your situation and I describe what I do. And we just see if we're a good fit to work together. And Stacey, I'd really love to thank you and Willcuts Homes for sponsoring this, because I think it's so important that women learn about investing and how to get started.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if you or someone you know is interested in buying a home, please feel free to reach out to Willcuts Homes. Our contact information is listed on the screen as well. Give us a call, email us, or submit a form through our website. But yeah, thank you so much, Melinda. And we appreciate you and your time. Everyone, I hope that you have been able to gather at least one piece of amazing advice that you can apply today. I do hope that you have a great night, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.